Well, talking about being remembered, we've mentioned it a couple of times. The statue outside Wembley, that must be a absolute massive honour to have that out there. Um, how many other statues are there?
I think there's five of us on the rugby
Okay.
league statue. If I it's myself. I know Alex Murphy. Ironically, Alex Murphy wrote a story about me in the Daily Mirror on the day of the 1994 Challenge Cup final, and that's also on my Instagram page.
Yep.
Saying I was finished. I've kept that newspaper. It was my motivation. He said I was finished. I'd lost my bottle, the best of a bad bunch. That's why in life, it's not about, and this is a great player saying this about me, a great player, and he's on that statue with me. That's how great he is, Alex Murphy, uh, and he said that about me. And, someone else might have let that affect them, That's why in life, if negativity is given to you, whether somebody punches you in the face on the pitch, whether someone says something about you bad in the press, whether your own speckies are booing you, saying you're rubbish or whatever it is, yeah, don't let that crush you. Believe in yourself. And I learned that from that day, because that's why there was so much in that try. I had such success in Wigan in 92. It was phenomenal. From the Nissan Sevens to winning the Lance Todd, scoring 10 tries, 5 tries in the semi-final, winning the championship. Yeah. So much. It's like people, it was incredible. To then in 93, dislocating my shoulder against Penrith, playing for East, coming back, not being paid by Wigan, having to go out doing other jobs. Wigan saying they're going to get rid of me, signing Viga Tugamala, having Jason Robinson, the spectators not believing in me, going through a bit of a tough time, having to seek solace from Sean Edwards, who was a good pal of mine, managing then to convince John Dorahay that I was worth, putting back into the team, having all that bullshit written about me in the press. Imagine that's a national newspaper. That's like the Sydney Morning Herald, waking up in the morning of a grand final and like Wally Lewis in the Sydney Morning Herald or the Telegraph saying that, you're rubbish, you're the best of a bad bunch. And then having to go out and play the grand final and then going out, scoring 2 tries, winning the man of the match and scoring a try that you knew was the pinnacle of your career. Even now I'm going, wow, I can feel it. I'm gonna remember those emotions for the rest of my life. That's what I get, because I managed to, if I let it crush me or didn't have a great performance that day, I might have all what I'd achieved before might have been gone. But after doing that, and that's why when people watch that, they go, were you just knackered? I said, no, it wasn't. Yeah, I was a little bit puffed, as you do, running full length the pitch. But I was just, my mind was blown. That is the pit that I knew in that moment, that was the pinnacle of my life. I don't care what I do. I love my kids. My kids have been born. I love my wife. I love everything. But the emotions I felt that day are something that ordinary people will not feel, because you have not been through that. To have to have something thinking the whole country, the Daily Mirror was the #1 paper in the country, and it's not often, I don't know if you know, but rugby league in England, even though it's got, it's big in Wigan and sort of these towns, nationally, it was only about the Challenge Cup. That was the one day that rugby league had national coverage. That for that one day,
wow.
It had that national. It was the day that rugby league came to London, and the whole country would watch it. Fantastic viewing figures, and the whole country was aware of rugby league. We're going to play. Okay, we're dawning. So people who didn't even like rugby league would be watching it. And then to see that in the newspaper and then to go out and do that, I just thought, I could not believe what I'd done. I thought, this is, life can't, I don't care if I won a World Cup. I don't think anything, it wouldn't get for me any bigger than on that day. And to have all those emotions and then to think to myself, hang on a minute, we haven't even won the game yet. This is only 12 minutes gone. Yeah. But it put us on the route to winning the game, and I scored another try. Still a great try, but not going to be in the same breath of that. And that's what people don't realize. It's like I scored 501 tries in my career, 501, and that is the unwon. That is the and one. I always say that try was the and one. That's the one. It's like the iceberg that sank the Titanic. The 500 is below, because to the great and sporting public, I was on a show on Friday, and it was a question of sport, a quiz show they have, and they were talking about the statue and everything. And this is a national show, and I've been retired, 20 plus years, but it's done a lot of reality TV shows, and what I've achieved, still resonates with people, and just people talking about that try, and people just go, Martin Offiah, I only scored that one try, but that one try is the one try, the iceberg above. Everything else is the body of work, all what you had to go through, being called an uncoordinated clown by St Helens, not getting picked by England, having to, do all that I did for Widnes. Then, everything you've done led up to that moment, even from playing rugby at school, my parents sending me to a boarding school, trying everything I thought came to that one moment above. And that's the one moment that anyone who knows anything about rugby league, about me, about, even if they're just going to Wembley to watch, a pop concert, they'll walk past the statue and go, who's this? Why is he on his knees with his head in his hands? And that, stimulates a bit of curiosity. And I say that is the M1. Sure. And it is the whole story, because in life, I always say that, careers can be forgotten, but moments last forever. I've got some great moments, when I remember that moment, I was at the Sydney Football Stadium when Wally Lewis was, coming off the pitch when I've forgotten the name of the New South Wales second rower. Who was barging with him. He was having
Mark Geyer, Big MG.
Mark Geyer, yeah, Big MG when he's coming off. Thurston kicking those goals in that grand final. There are moments. Pat Richards when he scored his try for West in that grand final. There are moments, rugby league moments, which will I remember forever. And they'll stick out. And I've created my one moment that is known nationally in this country. And that's it. And so some people, when they talk about that, but that's that one moment that sticks on top of the cherry on the cake, which gets you. That's what you want, moments. People not going to remember stats. 501 tries, 601 tries. Who cares? But just that emotional connection, that thing of beauty. It's like I remember watching. I used to watch. Love watching old Aussie videos of the old Wembley Cup, and I used to see Eric Grove was the guru, mate. The original, not the not Mark II, not the sequel. He was a good player, but not quite, not quite Beverly Hills Cop 1. But I used to love watching, and he used to run. He was such a big man, but he still had grace, and I used to love watching. Rugby league and the beauty of it, and the aesthetics, how people, even Wally Lewis, was a bit of a podgy, but sometimes when he used to sell those dummies and left and right, and it was a thing of beauty. And I always thought that that's what you want to do, is that, it's not so much about winning and losing. It's about going out there and communicating with the people in the stands. It's like the biggest compliment that people ever pay me in this country, if I walk up and down the street, when they say, you know what, I don't even like rugby, but I used to love watching you, or you got me into rugby, or you did something, you actually moved, you connected with people. Because it's easy to connect with Wigan fans, as you know, It's easy, as you say, for George Hodgson to connect with Para fans. All you have to do is go out and win a grand final. But at Wigan, they did a lot of winning, so it was more than winning. It was, if you connect with people, chances are you've won anyway, But just winning doesn't make you get remembered forever. It's you've got to aim for something higher than that. You've got to create a connection with people, go beyond that. And I was always about, that's what I wanted to do. In 92, I still, no one talks about my 92 performance at Wembley. I still scored 2 decent tries and won the Lance Todd that day after just being bought for 420, but no one remembers that. As I say, you can do great things because it doesn't connect with people, because you've got something else greater. At 93, I got knocked out, and 99, scored the opening try for London. No one remembers those stuff. People only remember 94 because that was a thing of beauty, and that was, I was like that was it was iconic, and I felt it, and it wasn't a choreographed performance. I was just being present in that moment. And that moment has been captured. It's been, you walk around Wembley. There's photos of it. There's a bar named after the try. There's a bar at Wembley Stadium, not named after me, but it's named after the try. It's called the 1994 bar,
Oh,
named
okay.
after
Yeah.
my try, but it's not
Yeah.
named after me because the new Wembley was redeveloped in '99 and didn't open again to I think 2006, 2007, and then all the bars have got different years, and they're all named after something incredible that happened at Wembley that year. Like there's the 1966 bar named after
Okay.
obviously England winning the World Cup, the soccer or football World Cup as we call it, soccer as you call it, World Cup in '66, and mine's a '94 bar. But when that statue went up in 2015, I think it was, so that's a long time between drinks. It's from '94. But to see it, yeah, it literally brought me to tears because it took me back to that moment, back to
Oh,
the
yeah,
morning,
definitely. Yeah, for
back to
sure.
the morning, waking up, back to
Reading the
walking around
paper.
Wembley with the paper in my. There's I think a clip of me being interviewed before the game, and I didn't have much to say because I used to hate being interviewed before games because I think to
Okay.
myself, I want to be interviewed after the game. Because if you're a winger and someone's interviewing after the game, chances are you've done pretty well. If you're a winger, I say anyway, and there's been a big game, and someone's come to because it's wingers, we don't get much love. And they say it's the easiest position on the field to play, but the hardest position to play well and have an impact. If you're a winger and you win like the Dally M, if you're a winger and you win man of the match, chances are you've done something incredible. If
Yeah, yeah.
you're a halfback and you win man of the match, mate, you might put you could put a few chips in, throw a few missed balls, few
You've done your
inside
job,
balls.
haven't you?
You've done your job. You know what I mean? You don't have to do something that's going to be remembered forever. But
Yeah.
chances are, if you're a winger and it's a big game, State of Origin, Test match, Challenge Cup, Grand Final, and you're a winger and you win man of the match, chances are you've done something special. See, these are all things that were in my brain. So that's what I knew. And I'd already run, a Lance Todd before, and I don't know how many wingers have won 2 Lance Todds. I don't know if any. I don't know if I doubt it. There's lots of records that I may or may not have won. I don't know. That's too short. But definitely those things were mine. It was just about creating things of beauty. It's about connecting with people, because if you can go out there and someone, people just remember your name. I always think to myself now, I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but if I walk down the street and someone says, "Are you Martin Offiah?" and I think, well, I've been retired for 22 years. I think it's from rugby. 23. I think my last Super League season was for Salford 2001. So it's about 22 years. And I think so. If someone can still remember something I've done, I've connected with you emotionally somewhere that you've seen something and you've probably gone wow. If you see something and gone wow, and that's why if people still remember that I lost the race to Leo de Ryan, I'll take that because I'm still connecting with them. He still remembered, So you don't know what you're going to be remembered for, and if chances are if you're remembered, you've connected emotionally with people, and that's what life's about. It's really going out there and positively connecting with people. That's all you want. At the end of the day, I'm sure you want all your para team, you want George Hodgson to do well and all the para team to do well, but you want them to go out there and, you want to see them bleed for para, don't you? And if they go
Yeah,
out there,
yeah, definitely.
if they, however they go, if you've got a good team, if you've got a not great team, but if they give it 100% and, perform to their maximum, and everyone else has done their job right, i.e. they've got a decent team together, you think we've got to go far. If the team performs to the maximum, and that's the way you connect with the crowds, is giving it your all, doing something that makes them go wow,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Imagine that. If
yeah,
they all do something and you come off, you go wow. That's all you're trying to get them to do. You're not trying to win the game. You're trying to make your own fans go wow. If you
yeah.
can do that, you've achieved, mate. You've achieved, and the winning and losing will take care of itself.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good advice there. And just speaking of statues, I think there's only about 4 or 5 in Australia. I think there's the Jonathan Thurston statue, there's the Wally Lewis statue, and I think Cameron Smith and Billy Slater down in Melbourne. Um, there's a few more at the Sydney Cricket Ground of rugby league players, but they're the ones that stand out for me. And having a statue, as you said, every time I go to the Suncorp Stadium, I'm always getting a picture out next to the Wally statue, so because it's always there. So
Yeah, it's
massive.
nice when I go to Wembley. it's nice of a meeting point.
Yeah,
When
nah,
I go to when
definitely.
I go to Wembley, they say, "Oh, where should we meet?" I'm like, "Really, really? You're going to ask me
Yeah,
that?"
yeah, yeah. Well, it could be the 1994 bar. You could meet at the 1994 bar.
Yeah, we'll meet at the
Interesting.
statue and we'll go to the 1994 bar.
Yeah,
A good day
that's
was
it.
had.
Do you get free drinks at the 1994 bar or?
No, I don't. I don't. I don't.
Oh,
You know, I think I should. I was
yeah.
actually going to. I was actually at the Euros recently. You know, the European finals with my son, and I managed to blag my way into the bar in one of the bars because I don't do that. Do you know who I am thing? But I was like
Yeah, yeah.
literally the entrance to the VIP because I didn't have VIP tickets. I just had ordinary tickets. But I was with my son, but I knew some friends of mine were up in the VIPs. And where the entrance to the VIP was right, and you could see out the window my statue, and I thought, "Come on, the gods are telling you you've got to use it." And I went up to the bloke and I went, "I'm just going to pick up my mates." And he goes, "Have you got a ticket?" I said, "No." I said, "No, but that's my statue just there." And he went, "What, are you mine about?" "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." And he let me in. So I thought,
Going
"Yeah,
in.
it's got me free drinks on that day." So yeah, all good.
Ah, nice. Well, we'll wrap things up with the personality questions, like I like to call a set of six. And we'll start off with, what's your favorite holiday destination and why?
Oh, uh, Sydney does come in a close second 'cause I love it, but Ibiza. Ibiza's my
Okay.
number one.
Yeah.
I love the energy on that island and been going there since 1995. Love it.
Ah, nice. How does Martin Offiah relax when you have a day off? What's the one thing you love to do?
I love to do to relax. I love to chill. I love to Netflix and chill. Uh, um, and you know, music, obviously. I DJ. I like to have hobbies that pay rather than
Yeah.
hobbies that cost you a lot of money. So yeah, so when I get out to do my hobby, yeah, you know, I invariably get paid for it. So yeah, I DJ a lot of music.
Ah,
Oh,
nice. Uh, if given, what is your favorite piece of advice you've been given from someone in your life?
my favorite piece of advice I've been given probably my dad. My dad wrote a book called Understanding Your Emotions, and he gave me a bit of advice. He said, "Martin, if you're ever unsure of who you are or where you're going in life, just look around you." And that is the best bit of advice because he said, you know, if everyone around you is a professional sportsman, chances are you're a professional sportsman. If everyone around you is a bank robber, chances are you're a bank robber. So, you know, now they've got like all these modern terms that, you know the five people you associate closest with and all that. But yeah, that's always stuck with me. And,
Ah,
you know,
nice.
so so if you want to become like someone, hang around with those type of people. You know, it's hard to if you want to be a millionaire to hang around with millionaires because you you know if you're not a millionaire, but if you can bring value to millionaires, even if it's that getting them coffee and hang around them, then chances are you've got more chance of becoming a millionaire. So that's what another thing it taught me is life is about adding value to other people's lives, even if it's that even if it's like cracking jokes, then people like having you around because you're the funny guy or you're the handsome guy or you're the guy that is good at chatting up girls, or you're the guy that pays for everything, or you're the guy that gives people positive energy. Whatever it is, you're doing something for other people. And I always thought I did that when I played rugby. I was creating excitement for other people who would then create excitement for me because you feed off other people's energy.
Ah, nice. Now, if you weren't a career sportsman, what profession do you think you would have taken up?
I always think that's a tough question to ask because, I'm very much a burn the boats mentality type of person, that my identity is so wrapped up in who what being Martin Chariots of Fire that I can't be anybody else. I could pick something and say, I like
Yeah,
this. I could have done that, done a lot of cooking shows. One come dine with me over here. Could have been a chef, could have been this. Could have turned, there's lots of things that I could have turned my hand to, but you know, I am Martin Chariots of Fire, and
yeah,
that's who I am.
yeah. No, that's fair enough.
It's like asking the Queen, who would you be if you not be the Queen? You don't know. She's been the Queen. God rest her soul. She's no longer with us. But it's probably like asking Ronaldo, who would Ronaldo be, or asking Messi, who would they be? It's just like when you are so something, you can't, people who could answer that question, chances are, it's like asking Muhammad Ali or Pele, or, that's the mindset.
Well, okay, this one might be just a off topic then, a easier one, or might be a hard one. But you mentioned cooking there. Come dine with me. What's your specialty dish in the kitchen or on the barbecue?
Oh, I'm I would have to say, um, I cooked a Nigerian curry. I cooked a Nigerian curry, so chicken curry. Well, I can literally turn my hand to anything. But yeah, at the moment I'm a bit of a short order American diner cook for the kids because they love pancakes, waffles,
Oh,
chicken burgers, stuff like that. So anything American dinery, the kids they love that kind of stuff because who doesn't love an American diner?
that's right up
But
my
yeah.
alley. Sounds
so
nice.
so at the moment that, but for myself, oh, mate, can't get past a well cooked steak, medium rare.
Nice, nice. What was the first concert or first album that you bought?
The first album I ever bought, I think, was Michael Jackson, Thriller. I think that was the first album
Oh,
that I bought. Yeah,
yeah, good one. Is it?
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, nah, definitely champion album that one. What is one of your favorite all-time songs off that album, or is there another one that is one of your favorite all-time
Um,
songs?
my favorite all-time song, I would say, would have to be. It's a house music song. So since I've been retired, done my fair bit of clubbing. I did a bit of clubbing back in the days, and at the Horden Pavilion
Oh yes,
when I was in
yes.
Sydney back in the day. And where else I used to go to in Sydney? God, Oxford Street. It will come back to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I used to love a bit of club in Sydney. But I'd have to say that a song called "Waiting for You" by Dina Vass, Soul Avengers remix. Anyone who knows me as a DJ, I just knows that I used to play that song all the time. Not it's not a pop song, a well-known song, but that's one of my go-to DJ tracks.
Nice. And wrap it up, what would you like to say to the fans of rugby league who have watched you play during your career?
I would like to say to the fans of rugby league, those who have cheered me or booed me, um, uh, both sets of fans. Without you, I wouldn't be anything because I fed off your energy. I always turned it into positive energy, whether it was positive cheers, whether it was negative boos, whether it was, how can I say it? Insults. Let's leave it at that. Racially charged insults. I fed off it, and I fed off the energy of the crowd. And I always say, without spectators, I would be nothing, and we wouldn't have a sport. It is the fans who make the sport, and I bow to you and I thank you. The fans in Australia, the fans in England. As I say, without them, that's what got me up. Whether I knew that it was 20,000 fans who, as it was sometimes, up at the Boulevard in Hull, who hated me. That's what got me up. The fact that I could stand in front of them with a smile on my face after I scored a try and just look at individual people's faces in the crowd and see how much upset I caused them. I fed off that and I loved it, and it sends a chill up the back of my neck. And as I say, anytime I watch an old clip of mine, and I see it and I see people, how excited I made them or how angry I made them, yeah, it still does send a chill down my spine.
Nice. Well, as I said, I remember watching you play growing up, watching rugby league, and obviously watch the replay games now. So it certainly brought a lot of enjoyment to a lot of rugby league fans, as you said, both in England and Australia. So Martin Offiah, thank you very much for allowing me to interview you today. As I said, it brought back a lot of childhood memories, some good times. And I hope if you're ever in Australia, we can catch up and say good day. And thank you very much for coming on the Paracave podcast today. I could have spoken for hours. So much to get through, but yeah, it was a really enjoyable chat.
Well, I hope Para have a big season this year. I'm going to be keenly watching a lot of the Parramatta games now that we've had this connection. I feel like I'm a bit of Parramatta's going to have to be one of my clubs now. Big shout out to
Okay.
Josh Hodgson. I hope you have a fantastic season, Josh, and go Para.